Real estate has always been a hyper-local business. You needed to understand your market. So when you think about having real estate organizations in many markets, the big question that comes up is, how can I be an expert in that market?
Hey there, future real estate legends. This is Jason P. Jordan, your go-to global real estate coach and the president and CEO, the Legends International team brokered by eXp Realty. I just wanted to thank you for being here and welcome you to another episode of the LiT Real Estate Show, where we interview our equity partners at eXp Realty in the USA and from all around the globe. Now I just ask you to please subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button and hitting that bell icon so you never miss another LiT show or any other future videos that I have then launch here on this channel. It also helps the show grow so we can get even more successful eXp Realty agents on to help you. Now, at the same time, if you're a subscriber, you'll get access to new shows before anyone in the world does. If you would, subscribe right now. Thanks so much.
So let me introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Robert S. Warner, out of Santa Barbara, California, but he's kind of become a digital or a global nomad now. Brings over 30 years of experience in corporate finance, venture capital, and investment banking, having held senior roles in both public and private companies across the United States and abroad. He holds a BA from Sonoma State University and 2 postgraduate degrees in international political economics from UC Santa Barbara. Robert has consulted with government agencies in Hungary and Ukraine on post-Soviet economic development and has played key roles in multiple venture capital successes, including multiple high-return exits and strategic corporate finance initiatives. He also founded Ventura Global Corporation, which has helped over 100 companies secure funding. A global citizen at heart, Robert speaks English, Spanish, Italian, French, and he says he can even hold a conversation in German. In 2019, Robert transitioned into real estate, first with Golden Gate Sotheby's, and then with eXp Realty in 2022. Since joining eXp, he has built 3 thriving real estate teams, a luxury brand, a value brand, and a commercial group under the Now Realty banner. Today, he is focused on expanding global operations through a strategic partnership with the Legends International team, with a special focus on growth in Lisbon, Portugal. So Robert, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
You know, it was a pleasure getting to know you in Barcelona at the eXpCon International event we had here just a few weeks ago. I see that you're still enjoying the sun and the rays in Spain there.
Yep, you got that right.
Right? You know, there's not many people that I get to meet that have the similar energy to me and are taller than me.
I know the feeling, believe me.
So, you know, I'm always surprised when I go to events like this, right? And who am I going to get to meet? And what actually comes from those relationships, right? Because it's not just what happens at the event, but it's what gets started there and grows from there. So with that said, you know, so we don't dive too deep into that yet, let's jump into the time machine DeLorean. Let's set the clock back, right? And let's go back to your life before you were in real estate and kind of give us an idea, who is Robert Warner prior to real estate?
Okay, well, that's an easy one, right? I'm talking about me. That's always the easiest thing to talk about. So as a young man, as a teenager, I decided I wanted to see the world, and it was an earlier time and hitchhiking was still a thing. And so I called my dad up one day from the state of Utah, which is 2 states away from where we lived in Northern California. And I said, Dad, I'm taking a year off of school. I'm going to hitchhike around the world. And he said, well, that sounds kind of risky. He didn't want me to go, but he extracted a promise from me that I would come back when I finished traveling around the world. I would come back and finish university. And off I went, and I actually did hitchhike around the world. It took me 3 years, and I discovered that I really enjoyed being in different cultures, different places, and seeing the world from different perspectives. So when I did come back and go back to the university, all the professors were asking me, to major in their field of study. They all wanted to seduce me and get me to major in whatever they were teaching, right?
Right.
And I said, you know what? Everywhere I went on my travels, people told me I'm getting a better education this way than I would be in any university. So that's what I want to major in. I want to major in what and how people learn from travel. And I had a really bright anthropology professor named David Perry, who was an American Indian, of American Indian descent, and had graduated from the university at the age of 16. And he said, good, let's design a research project for you to do exactly that. And so we did. And for the next 3 years after that, I traveled around the world doing participant observation research with other travelers, determining what and how they had learned from their travels. And one of the things that I learned during that research project was that people who had a business in more than one culture learned more deeply and more quickly about the cultures that they were traveling in and doing business in than anybody else. So I decided I wanted to do that, and I started my first career. I started a company called Escapade Imports, and I started importing product from first India to the south of France, and later from all over the world to the southwest of the United States. And I ran that business for about 7 years, and basically it was a way for me to pay for continuing to travel. So I basically traveled the world from the age of 18 till the age of 30, doing, first as a kind of a hippie, just hitchhiking, and then as a student, and then as a businessman. So that was my first career.
What a journey.
It was a journey. And then I got married, and my first wife said, gee, I don't want to be married to somebody who's traveling all over the world all the time. I want you to have a career here at home. So I met another guy of American Indian descent, a guy by the name of Homer Nottingham, who was working at American Express as a financial planner, and he convinced me to go to work with American Express as a financial planner, and I started in the finance world. And I went from working in the financial planning world, I kind of focused on business planning. Some people do personal financial planning. I was doing mostly for businesses. And I went from there to working at Prudential Securities, and I was recruited out of Prudential Securities by a little investment bank, a little boutique investment bank called Pacific Acquisition Group and Spectrum Securities. And that's where I got into investment banking. And investment banking taught me something really interesting, that's why I was telling this whole story to get to, actually, which was that in order to be successful in a business, you need to identify a competitive advantage that works for you and your business. And so I worked for 30, 40 companies at Spectrum Securities, and I was always trying to find their competitive advantage. And so what I learned to do was look at a market and see where there are holes in the market where a business could make inroads. And this served me really well when I got into the real estate business, because I was able to look at my market first in the Bay Area and then in Santa Barbara and determine where there were areas that just weren't being served. And so that's really what I did, investment banking. I did venture capital. I was the CEO of a company that went public and a CFO of another company that went public. And I did all kinds of stuff in finance. But the real lesson I had was that you have to find your niche, your competitive advantage. And so my niche in real estate, my competitive advantage is that I'm able to see not just one market, but markets all over the world for how they compete and how they can attract clients. And so that's what I bring to the table at the Legends International team.
I like that you're already speaking things into existence. When you and I were first talking, I was like trying to see like how do things line up, because when you have somebody approach you, and they're really excited, and I always try to understand first, like how are we going to work together, right? And over several conversations, Robert, I was like, okay, I think I've got it figured out, right? I remember I was like, Robert, I'm going to come back to you, right? I need to think this through, right? Because I want to make sure that every strategic partnership that I do or we do as an organization brings value to everyone involved, right? And that, because I have commitments that I have made to everyone that I am partnered with, right? So I want to make sure that there's value being added to everyone, right? And when you and I had several discussions, and I was like, okay, I see multiple ways that Robert can bring value into the organization, and we can bring value to him, right? Because it's got to be a win-win. So what moved you, before we dive into that, what moved you to go from Sbees, right, which was a very well-known luxury brand around the world, right? What took you from that to EXP? So what made you make that shift? What did you see that made you go, man, I'm going to move away from this? They like to call it 1,000-year-old brand, right? Although the Realty brand isn't that old, but the brand of Sbees, of course, at the auction house is that old. But what made you make that move?
So I like business models that break new ground. That is a way to create a competitive advantage. And basically what EXP has done is they've said, by shifting from what is prevalent in the United States, which is a structure of franchises, to a corporate structure, it basically lets not only every agent, but everybody who participates in the ownership of the company is a partner in the company. Mm-hmm. At Sbees, I was nowhere near the partnership level. I was just another real estate agent out there hustling, trying to make a sale, right? Whereas the minute I joined EXP, I became a partner with my sponsor. I became a partner with everybody who I sponsored, and I became a partner with everybody at the company through the stock ownership plan. And that's just a quantum difference, right? It's just it makes all the difference in the world. It's the reason everybody here wants to be helpful to each other, whether you're in someone's downline or not in their sales organization or not in their sales organization. There's a reason for them to help you. They want to see you be successful because it accretes to the value of the stock that they earn every year, every time they do a sale, every time they bring in a new agent. So every time they icon. So I like the model. The model was a competitive advantage, and that's why I joined.
And I think with co-sponsoring now, it just opens that up even further, right? Because that allows you to work with people that maybe in a way that you weren't able to work with them before, right? So I remember last year being in Lisbon for the EXPCon International for the first one, and there was a lot of people who really wanted to work with me and grow together and have help, and and that's fine. We can do that, and we can put people on local real estate teams, but we didn't have the mechanism last year, right, to really do with what we're talking about doing, Robert, right, which is growing the organization together in partnership, right? And that is really, really exciting, right? And I got to think about several people in the company I've known for 3-4 years, and now I have co-sponsored new people with them, right? So literally taking some of the highest earning revenue share earners in the company, and through co-sponsorship, placing them in my downline with new people. And that to me is super exciting about that opportunity, right? And when I think of a kindred spirit like you, that is the same as me in many ways, that we have lived overseas, right? We speak multiple languages. We have, learned and experienced multiple cultures. So we have a lot of alignment there, right? And when I look at when Marty and I started talking about the concept of the Legends International team, right? Which wasn't the original name, but the concept of it was being a multicultural, multilingual organization, right? And that we would serve those agents who want to be multilingual and multicultural, right? And that was our competitive, and is, I still believe today, our competitive advantage, right? Is that we attract those agents, right? We attract them to us. We have created something unique, right? That really didn't exist in the company prior, right? And I'm even more excited about LiT 2.0, right? Which is really what 2024 started, right? Was LiT 2.0. let's take a
Can I
second.
comment on that just for a second?
Go ahead, Robert.
I want to add on to something. So you said two things together there, but I just want to connect them a little bit, which is co-sponsorship and international multiculturalism. Real estate has always been a hyper-local business. You needed to understand your market. So when you think about having real estate organizations in many markets, the big question that comes up is, how can I be an expert in that market? They have different rules, they have different, market structures, that price points, client base, everything is different. How am I going to do that? How am I going to serve somebody as a sponsor who lives half a world away from me? And the answer really is, you can't personally do that. Even as multicultural as you are, it's a challenge trying to support somebody that works in a totally different legal system and a totally different culture, 10,000 miles away or 8,000 miles away or whatever. But with co-sponsorship, what you can do is you can recruit somebody who's an expert in that particular market to serve as the mentor for the people that you bring in. And when I saw that, I was just like, that is a tremendous opportunity to go wide. And as somebody who is a multiculturalist myself, I wanted to jump into that with both feet. So just wanted to add that.
Well, you're right. I mean, we understood because we have built multiple sales organizations in different companies, right? We knew the key was that you've got to find a leader in a particular market, right? And then support that leader to grow, right? And of course, you and I had a conversation and you said, give me some examples of leaders that you have. And then I brought up Rita and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to Lisbon. I want to meet her, right? I want to spend more time with her because you did meet her in Barcelona, right? And that really is that idea of being able to have that local expert, right, in that particular market. And I know enough to be dangerous, across all of our markets. I mean, I can tell you the splits. I can tell you roughly how the real estate is done there, if it's licensed, non-licensed, if there's portals, what portals exist roughly. But you're right, to really dive in and help somebody tackle their tactical day-to-day real estate, it's tough if you're not in that market, right? And so it's finding those right leaders who are multicultural to help bridge the gap and then support and grow with them. And you're right, co-sponsoring allows you to do that. Instead of you having to go completely try to recreate what we did, now it allows you to come partner with us strategically and grow, leveraging our footprint, right? Which to me is awesome, because that means I get to put somebody in my organization through co-sponsorship who believes in our values and what we're strategically trying to do. And then we can grow together. And that to me is game changing. So what do you think about this whole idea of EXP and the model around the world, Robert, now that you've had a taste to kind of come to Barcelona, experience EXPCon International, travel a little bit? I know you're spending some time there back in Spain. How big do you think this is going to get?
So I see an opportunity, and to be honest, I'm in the early stages of exploring the opportunity. But the opportunity I see is that there are people, luxury buyers around the world, that don't really want to be solely concentrated in the market where they live. They don't want to only own property in the market where they live. They want to be able to explore other places and own property in other places that they can both visit and use as income properties and investment properties and so on. But there is no agent covering those other markets, right? There's nobody in their market covering those other markets. But there is something that we can do but I can do as a US agent, which is I can post listings on my MLS that are called out of area listings. And I can post those listings in Lisbon. I can post them in Costa del Sol. I could post them in Egypt. I could post them in, anywhere on the planet. The issue is always educating the market that those listings are there, and that educating the realtors that service the MLS that they can make money referring their clients to buy properties in these other markets. And so what I'm starting to explore is something I'm calling the Global Luxury Alliance. And I know Samia has another service that's doing something very similar. And I do want to explore it more with you, Samia. I really do. This was just an idea that came to me after our first discussion, Jason. And I'm building it out. I'm exploring it. I have about a dozen people that have said they'd love to send me their listings in various markets, and I can post them out of area. And I'm looking at doing YouTube channels that showcase those other properties in those other markets, and other kinds of marketing efforts that will drive realtors and buyers to look at those properties and put in requests to talk with a realtor in those markets, and then do referrals to those realtors in those markets, hopefully other people on the LiT team. So that's what I'm exploring.
It's exciting, Robert, and to hear that vision, right? And I think about all of the people that are aligned with our organization and other tools that are in the process and platforms that are in the process that will make that vision an even bigger reality, right? I'm hoping that in the next few weeks, as the quarterly business review happens, that some of those other platforms that are out there will come into alignment within our ecosystem that will allow that to be even easier to accomplish, right? And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
I do, yeah, I do.
So, but
let me go back to one other thing that you said, because I think it's really a very key point. It's a meta point. It's above all the other stuff. You said that you enjoyed when I speak things into existence. And I want to suggest to you that we are always doing that. Anytime somebody says, I can't do that, this or that or the other, I don't have a way to do this, they're speaking that into existence. And what I would rather see us do is speak into existence, all of us, everyone. I'm talking not just the people on this call, everyone the people on this call knows, everyone you talk to, everyone you meet. Encourage them to believe in themselves and to speak into existence that which that they would have be true in the world. Because that's really the instigation of everything. That's where everything positive comes from. It first starts with a word. You start with speaking it into existence. You know, there's a reason that James 1:1 in the Bible says, in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word is the creator. You create everything with your words. And I'm not a religious nut or anything like that. Maybe some of you are hardcore Christians. I don't want to pretend that I am. I just happen to know that that's a very powerful statement from the Bible.
Amen, brother. Well, I don't know if I can actually close it out any better than that. So, Robert, we will speak things into existence with our words, right? I am a huge believer in that. Thank you for taking time to share your story with us. I'm super excited about our partnership and all the great things that will grow from it as we speak into existence.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. That made me a little nervous to get on this call, but I'm glad we did it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, I hope you found value in today's legendary interview with our special guest. If you'd like to see more interviews just like this one, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you'd like to learn more about today's guest, I placed all their contact information in the description below. Who knows, maybe they are the mentor you've been looking for. And if you're looking to make a change who you are partnered with in real estate, feel free to book a no-pressure private Zoom call with me. During this private call, I'll share with you how we help real estate agents leverage their language skills and cultural connections to close more transactions both locally and internationally using cutting-edge lead generation technology and marketing techniques. If you want to find yourself in a different situation in 90 days or in a year from now, it's important to find the right partners that can mentor you, have the right strategies, and are willing to give you the roadmap without asking for an additional cut of your commission. With the unique eXp Realty model, it's a collaboration, not competition mentality. The numbers don't lie either. So if you're curious, reach out and set up an appointment. I look forward to meeting you. Feel free to check out the other videos I have here on the channel about eXp Realty too, in case you're just curious. Otherwise, drop your questions or suggestions for upcoming guests in the comments below. Once again, I'm Jason Jordan, your go-to global real estate coach with the Legends International team, brokered by eXp Realty. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.